the Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico, 66 million years ago, during the end of the Cretaceous period, a time when dinosaurs were still roaming the Earth, up in space an asteroid hurtling towards the Earth, striking the peninsula with energy of billions of nuclear weapons and triggering the mass extinction of all non-avian dinosaurs and killing 75% of all life on Earth. Now, what if Zhongli was there? Could his shield have saved the dinosaurs from the initial impact? To answer this question, we first need to know how much energy the asteroid had. A general consensus on how much energy the asteroid had hitting the Earth is estimated to be around 100 teratons of TNT, or around 4.2 times 10 to the 23 joules of energy. So now we need to calculate how much energy Zhongli's shield can take. Well, we know that Zhongli's shield can take hits from Astroid, who has been stated to be similar in power to Zhongli himself, meaning if we can calculate how strong Zhongli was, we can get a good idea on how strong Astroid's attacks were and how much energy they would have produced. To calculate this, I decided to defeat of Zhongli creating the Genshin Stone Forest, where we know that each of the mountains there were originally stone spears that Zhongli used to defeat Asile during the Archon War, and at a time when Ashdar and Zhongli would have been relative in output. So now we just need to calculate the energy output for one of the spears. To calculate this, we'll be using the kinetic energy formula, where the kinetic energy is equal to half the mass of the object in kilograms, multiplied by the velocity of the object in meters per second. First, we need to get the mass of the mountain. To do this, we need the volume and the density of it. The Genshin Stone Forest is described as an island cluster or archipelago, meaning the majority of the size will be underground. Most archipelagos in the deep ocean, like the Genshin Stone Forest, range between 3,500 and 5,000 meters. With the Genshin Stone Forest being described as large, we will be using the upper average of 5,000 meters as the total length of the mountain. So now we have an estimate on how tall it is, but we still need to know how wide it is. Using the same logic, large mountains and archipelagos are usually anywhere between 10 to 120 kilometers, using the lowest end of 10 kilometers as the radius. This makes the ratio of how tall it is to how wide it is pretty accurate to its shape. Now, plugging those numbers into a calculator, we get the total volume of the mountain to be at 1 quintillion, 570 quadrillion, 796 trillion, 326 billion, 794 million, 896,619, or about 628 million Olympic-sized swimming pools. Now we need to find the density of the mountain. While using the density of stone, as the name suggests, gives it anywhere between 2 to 3,000 kilograms per meter squared. However, we know that these stones do hold ores as seen in game, meaning we should use the density of ore holding stones instead, which will give us an average of about 5,200 kilograms per meter squared. Now plugging the volume and density into a calculator gives us a mass over 8 quadrillion kilograms. That's a mass over 20,000 times the mass of all humans alive right now. Okay, now we have the mass, but we still need to know the speed the spears would have been travelling at. We can do this by looking at Zhongli's burst, where we see him summon a meteor and measure how long it takes to reach the ground, and use that as the speed of the spears, as they should be comparable. So first we need to know how long it took it to hit the ground. By looking at his burst animation, we can see that it takes about 1.6 seconds for the meteorite to be summoned fully and hit the ground. Now we need to calculate the distance the meteor travelled. By looking at the animation, we can see that the meteorite starts falling from around cloud level. Clouds are usually found in the troposphere, which is around 18 kilometers high in tropical regions, which Genshin Stone Forest should fall under. So plugging in the time of 1.6 seconds and the distance of 18 kilometers, we're able to calculate the speed to be around 11,250 meters per second, or around 33 times the speed of sound. So now taking our mass of over 8 quadrillion and our speed of 11,250 meters per second and putting that into a calculator gives us an energy of 5.1689 times 10 to the 23 joules of energy, which is about 1.23 times larger than the energy that the asteroid had that killed the dinosaurs. So to answer the original question, yes, Zhongli's shield is in fact strong enough to protect the dinosaurs from the asteroid's initial impact.